Hello guys, you are with Vikas sir in the wonderful session of English. Today we'll see conjunction. Yes, it is a connector. It connects. What it connects? Basically, it connects to nouns, to pronouns, to adjectives, to clauses, to sentences. That's why basically it is called a conjunction and connector. See, one thing, we have to just crack examination. Whatever questions are basically asked on the basis of grammar are common errors, sentence improvement, sentence fillers. There are some connectors on the basis of those. You can say jumbled words, close test, and are generally asked. We are not generally asked to identify which type of conjunction is this one. So, we are not here to study the types of conjunction. We are here to study the proper use of a particular conjunction. I'm just not going to tell you the coordinating conjunction, subordinating conjunction, because if I teach you all this thing, it will totally the wastage of time. That's why we are here to use here to study the exact use of a particular conjunction. So now start with conjunction. Firstly, I'm writing here the definition. It connects to words, clauses, and sentence. Okay. I'm just giving you an example. Rahul reads geography and I read history. So here we see we have two clauses, that is Rahul reads geography and I read history. And these two clauses have been connected with what? We can say and. So we can say and is what? It is a conjunction. So we have to just study the use of and, but, though, although, yet, since, hardly, scarcely. So many things are there. So now start with firstly and. What is and? We'll see. It connects to words, clauses, and sentences of similar kind. Similar kind means what? See, if I use and I connect two clauses or sentences, one clause here and one clause here, we have to see one thing. If this clause gives you positive sense, it also gives you positive sense. If it gives you negative sense, it also gives you negative sense. That's why I have written here of similar kind. It means what? And connects two clauses of same type of senses. If one clause gives you positive sense, another must give you positive sense. If it is negative, it also negative. Say for example, Mohit is an honest boy. See, this gives you a very positive sense. Mohit is an honest boy. And he is very intelligent. it also gives you positive sense. Means we can say this gives you positive sense and this also gives you positive sense. If I say Rahul does not write an application, it gives you what? Completely negative sense. If I connect it with the help of and, I also don't write an application. So we can say this also gives you negative sense. In short, we can say and is basically used to connect two clauses of similar meaning or same kind of meaning. Okay. If I use and and connect two nouns or pronouns, okay, we use a plural verb. For example, Ram and Shyam are good friends. I have connected two nouns, Ram and Shyam. So I have used here a plural verb. It is perfectly fine, no problem. But what happens when we connect two nouns and they give the sense of a single thing? Say for example, okay, I have used here a noun and again I have used here a noun. Suppose these give you the sense of a single thing. Say for example, bread and butter are my favorite breakfast. I know we put bread on butter on bread. It means what? And it is my breakfast. Means we can say bread and butter, after combining these two, it becomes a single unit. That's why we must put a singular verb, not a plural verb. So this sentence is wrong one. I must use here is. So we can write one, you can say rule. If these two nouns, okay, gives the sense of a single unit, अगर इन्होंने I mean noun, this noun और ये noun अगर ये single unit का sense देते हैं, if it gives the sense of a single unit, we must go for a singular verb. So it is very easy. What we have studied right now, that and connects two clauses of similar kind, positive, then positive. If it is negative, another must be negative. It connects two nouns, we must go for a plural verb. But when it connects two nouns and they give the sense of a single unit, we go for a singular verb. So this is all about and. Now move to next point. Hardly, we can say scarcely and barely. Guys, this is barely, not barely. Okay, so it's fine. So we say hardly, scarcely, barely. We always use when with hardly, scarcely, barely. This is the most important question. Generally paper में क्या होता है? We are just given THAN, which is absolutely wrong. We are not allowed to use any other word with hardly, scarcely, barely except when. Okay, I hope you are just getting me. So what is the nature of hardly, scarcely, barely? See, first of all, we'll see all these words are negative words. And one more thing, I write here a conditional word. This is a conditional word. So this is a very new word for us, conditional word. What is the meaning of such conditional word? See, there is a very broad definition of conditional word, but here I have to tell you very short that you have to keep one thing in your mind, that if any word is conditional, we are allowed to use only two tenses, that are present and past, but we are not allowed to use any future tense. Only this thing you have to keep on your mind, that with the conditional word we are not allowed to use future tense. So whenever we use hardly, scarcely, barely, and when one clause goes with when and the second clause goes with hardly, scarcely, barely, the clause in which hardly, scarcely, barely have been used, the clause must not be in future tense. Say for example, I'm writing here, present can be used, past can be used, but future cannot be used. Okay, present and past is possible. Third point, these are negative words. Oh, sorry, I have already written it. Okay, no problem. We'll see an example. He hardly reached the station, then the train departed. Now you see, there are two clauses. One is he hardly reached the station. This is the clause of what? Hardly. And this is the clause of then. See, there is an error in this sentence, that we are not allowed to use then or then. We are allowed to use only when. So the error is what? We have to use here when. But one more thing we have to consider, that sir, just you told me hardly, scarcely, barely are negative words, so we are not allowed to use any negative word in this clause. So we'll see once for a single point, that in this clause, this is a clause of hardly. In this clause we are not using any negative word. Is there any negative word? Not at all. Is there any future tense? Not at all. So this is perfectly safe. There is no problem in this clause. But there was a problem that we have used here then. It's absolutely wrong. That's why I have corrected it by using when. So this is all about hardly, scarcely, and barely. If you memorize, or if you keep all these things on your mind, you will feel comfortable in your examination, and I'm always with you, don't worry. So we'll see the next point, no sooner. No sooner. This is just like hardly, scarcely, barely. In hardly, scarcely, barely, we were using when, but with no sooner, we have to use THAN. Don't get confused. In examination hall, when we write paper, we feel a tremendous pressure to pass the examination. So in that pressure, most of the time we read THAN as than. But be careful that we are not allowed to use THAN. We are allowed to use only THAN with no sooner. So what is the quality of no sooner? Once again we'll see. According to this meaning, we see it very clearly. It's a negative word. Negative word means what? No other negative word is allowed in the clause of no sooner. Second point, this is once again a conditional word. Conditional word means what? We are allowed to use only present past but not future tense. We are not allowed to use future tense. We are allowed to use only present and past tense. Say for example, he no sooner reached home when the light went off. So firstly we'll see what is the clause of no sooner, this one. So we'll see, is there any negative word? No sir, not at all, safe. Is there any future tense in this clause? No sir, perfectly fine, safe. But when we move to the next clause, we saw there is a word when, which is not allowed with no sooner. So better we use here what we can use, THAN, and that's it, and the sentence becomes correct. So guys, this is all about no sooner. Now move to another point, that is though and although. It is very easy. Why? See guys, whenever we use though or although, we have to use yet. And I have kept this yet in bracket. Why? There is a logic that whenever we use though or although, you can use yet, or if you don't want to use, again it's fine. Means what? It is not always mandatory to use yet with though and although. If yet is there, it's fine. If yet is not there, again it's fine. So what is the nature of though and although? Whenever we use two clauses with the help of though, although and yet, the sentence must be in contrast to each other. What is the meaning of contrast? Contrast means just opposite. Suppose a single clause gives you positive sense, the next clause must give you negative sense. If the first clause gives you negative sense, the second clause must give you positive sense. Say for example, I am writing here, it connects two clauses in contrast to each other. And contrast means, you know very well, just opposite. For an example, though, or you can also write although. He studied well, still he failed in the examination. See guys, if someone studies very well, it gives you what? Positive sense. Very good. Though he studied very well, it gives you what? Positive sense. But he failed in the examination, it gives you negative sense. So this is perfectly fine that we have connected two clauses in contrast with each other. But one thing we have to watch here, that we are allowed to use only yet. If yet is there, it's fine. If yet is not there, again it is fine. But we are not allowed to use any other word. Unlike this one, we have used here still, it's totally wrong. If you leave the sentence like this, the sentence will be correct. But if you want to use yet, the sentence will be perfectly fine. So this is all about though, although and yet. Now move to another point. I'm writing here since. Since is basically called a conjunction of time. It connects two clauses. One clause will be here and the second clause will be here. I'm just giving you very appropriate way of solving an error, that whenever we see any question related to since, there will be two clauses. One will be here and the another will be here. The only question is asked from here that we have to keep this clause in present perfect tense. Present perfect tense means what? We have to use has or have plus V3, and this clause must be in past indefinite tense. Past indefinite tense means what, guys? We have to use either V2 if the sentence is affirmative, and if the sentence is negative or interrogative, we have to use did plus V1. I'm just writing an example. You will have to just to find error. 3 days have gone since he had eaten anything. So guys, if you see, there are two clauses. 3 days have gone and the another is he had eaten anything. It is perfectly fine that we have used this sentence in present perfect tense, means have plus V3, have plus V3. 3 days have gone. Perfectly fine. There is no error in this clause. But if you see in that clause, we have used had plus V3, means that is past perfect tense, which is totally wrong because we are allowed to use only past indefinite tense. So what will be the correction in this sentence? The correction will be he had eaten. We must write here he ate, which is the second form of a verb. Okay, I hope you are just getting me. So this is all about sense. If you memorize or revise all these things, you can say you will just find the appropriate question or appropriate answer in your examination. So now move to another point. We'll see lest. Lest means we can say basically this is a conditional word. Conditional word. Only one question is generally asked in earlier days. See what happens in earlier days, grammarians used to use may with lest, but with the passage of time it is now considered wrong. We should use only should. This is considered correct. Means what? Whenever we use lest, we have to watch only one thing, that the sentence must have should, not may. And what is the meaning of lest? कहीं ऐसा ना हो जाए. Most of the time we say कुछ पैसे लेके जाओ कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि ATM बंद हो. Means what? In that context we must use what? Lest. So I am writing an example. Take some candles. Okay, take some candles lest electricity may fail today. Fail, simply we can say. So this is perfectly fine. Take some candles lest. Now what we have used here? We have used here may, which is totally wrong. What should be used here? I know it doesn't sound good, but we are not here to learn things on the basis of sound. We are here to learn things on the basis of correct use of grammar. So this will be considered correct. I hope you are just getting me. Okay, then fine. Now move to another point. There are some very minute things that you have to carry on your mind. That is, whenever we use yet, See, this is totally different from whatever we have studied with the though and although. That was totally different, and this is totally different. What is the use of yet? We'll see. Yet means we can say till time. Till time means we can say अभी तक, or you can say अब तक. Not exactly कि अब तक 56, नहीं वो वैसा नहीं है. This is basically till time, right now. So there are some points that we have to be careful, that whenever we use yet in the context of till time, the position of yet must be end position. And as we know, there are three types of sentence. Basically, here that is affirmative, negative, and interrogative. See, one thing, that whenever we use yet in this context, we are not allowed to use yet in affirmative sentence. We can use yet in only negative and interrogative sentence, and the tense must be present perfect tense. How do we know that this is present perfect tense? Yes, absolutely, we can write here has, have plus V3. Say for example, my friend has not reached yet. You can match all the points. First of all, end position. Yes sir, we have yet at end position. Say, the sentence is affirmative or negative? Yes, this is not affirmative. This is a negative sentence. Perfectly fine. Sir, is this sentence is present perfect tense? Yes, because we have has plus V3. So the sentence is perfectly fine. So whenever we use yet, it must goes at the end position in negative or interrogative sentence with present perfect tense. So this is all about yet. I hope you are just getting me. Yes, well done. Now move to another point. We'll now see unless, until, and till. Some guys understand that these are very confusing. Not at all. These are not confusing. These are very separated to one another, or you can say from one another. See, whenever we use unless, unless shows you what? It shows you condition. Until shows you what? Time. Till also shows you what? Time. So there is one difference between unless and until. That is, it is used for condition and it is used for time. One more thing. This is a negative word. This is a negative word. It is also a negative word. But this is not a negative word. Till. This is a very positive word. This is a positive word. Okay. See, this is also used for time. This is also for time. This is a negative word. This is a positive word. If I have to use it in negative, I must write here till not. And till not is just equal to until. We can see. If you want to use until, it's fine. If you want to use till not, again it's fine. So we have to see one thing more, that is unless is a conditional word. Conditional word. What do you mean by conditional word? We are allowed to use present tense, past tense, and future tense is not allowed. We can use only present and past. Similarly, until is also a conditional word. It is also a conditional word. Once again, present is allowed, past is allowed, but future is not allowed. So we have to see, whenever we connect two clauses with the help of until, unless and till, there must be two clauses. Okay. So the clause in which until and unless have been used, only that clause must not be in future tense, must not have any other negative word. Okay. And that clause must give you the sense of condition for unless and until for time. Say for example, unless you work hard, you will not succeed. So, in this sentence, we have two clauses, unless you work hard, and another is you will not succeed. Some of you have a very little problem that, sir, just you told me that there should be no any negative word and future tense with unless. No, I'm not telling like that one. I'm telling one thing, that the clause in which unless has been used. What is the clause of unless? The clause of unless is unless you work hard. Is there any future tense in this clause? Not at all. Is there any negative word in this clause? Not at all. Whatever we want to use in the next clause, we are just free to use. In the next clause, we can use future tense, it's perfectly fine. We can use negative word, perfectly fine. But there should no any negative or future tense in the clause of unless. So, this sentence is perfectly fine. What is the meaning of this sentence? That your success in life or your success in life or examination or anything else is totally dependent upon your hard work. Means, what is the condition for successfulness? The condition for successfulness is work hard. So it shows what? Condition. Now we'll see the example of until. I will wait here. I will wait here until you don't come. See, in this sentence, we have again two clauses. I will wait here, and another is you don't come. What is the time for my waiting here? Until you don't come. So what is the clause of until? The clause of until is until you don't come. So in this clause, is there any future tense? Not at all, sir. Is there any negative word? Yes, sir. We have don't. So this sentence is wrong because until is a negative word. We cannot use a negative word in this clause. But we can use any negative word or future tense in the another clause, like I will wait here. Here I have used a future tense, but this is not the clause of until. This is the clause of until, because this is the time up to which I can wait here. So this shows time. That's why we can simply remove don't. So the correct sentence will be I will wait here until you come. So I hope you have just got it. So now I'm just giving you an example of till. It is very easy. We'll see the example of till. Beat him. उसे मारो. Okay. उसे मारो. कब तक? जब तक सच ना बोल दे. Beat him. जब तक सच ना बोल दे. Beat him till he does not speak the truth. Perfectly fine. Now you will see there are once again two clauses. Beat him until he does not speak the truth. In this clause, we have used a negative word not. Why? Because this is not a negative word, this is a positive word. So till not can be used. So this is perfectly a correct sentence. But if you want to use until in place of till not, yes, you can write. You can write here, beat him until he speaks the truth. It's perfectly fine. It means what? If I want to use until, means we cannot use not or any negative word, or if I want to use till, we must go with not to equivocate with until. So this is all about until, unless, until. One more thing I would like to tell you, that is very easy conjunction, that is but. It is very easy because whenever we add two clauses, one clause, but always connects two clauses in contrast to each other. Once again, but connects two clauses in contrast means what? Contrast? Yes, very good. Just opposite. If this clause gives you positive sense, this gives you negative sense. If this gives you negative sense, this gives you what? Positive sense. Say for example, my brother plays football. Okay, but I play chess. Means what? This clause totally contradicts this one. You will tell, sir, there is no any positive or negative sense. Not. This is not exactly like this one, that it, for being a sentence negative, it is not mandatory to have a negative word. There is difference between sentence negative and sense negative. I am talking about sense negative. If I am telling my brother plays football, his interest is in football, but mine is not. My interest is in what? In chess. So this clause contradicts this one. So we can say this is perfectly a correct sentence. I am just giving you another example. Rohit studies very well. Now, according to you, this gives you very positive sense. Rohit studies very well, but he is not very intelligent. Now you see, this gives you very positive sense, but this gives you very negative sense, because if someone studies very well, he must be very intelligent, but he is telling, this sentence tells that this clause, he is not very intelligent, means these two clauses are contradicting to each other. That's why the sentence is perfectly fine. So guys, this is all about conjunction. I hope you have understood whatever I have just taught you. So I request you all to memorize it, to revise it, and whatever you have doubts, you can ask me. So keep learning and keep smiling. Thank you.